It's Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Welcome to episode 174 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Fieler. In this edition of the Postcast, the government shutdown shuts down the Blue Angels. Pacific Fusion heads to New Mexico. A fire on Alameda Point. Supportive housing comes to Alameda. Local nursing homes make the grade. The latest real estate sales. Events for your weekend, including the Oakland Ballers Championship celebration. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story: whether you were looking forward to their precision flying or dreading the noise from the FA-18 Super Hornets, you won't have to concern yourself with the presence of the Blue Angels during Fleet Week next weekend. With the federal government shutdown, Fleet Week winds up classified as non-essential, which grounds the Angels. Additionally, don't look for any U.S. Navy ships to dock at the Embarcadero. Now, there will be ships and planes from other countries, notably Colombia and Canada. For the first time since 2017, the Canadian Forces Snowbirds flight team will perform. Unlike the Blue Angels, who fly a true fighter jet, the Snowbirds use Canada Air CT-114 Tudors, which are training aircraft specifically modified for low-flying acrobatics, allowing for tighter maneuvers than a fighter is capable of. There are other effects of the shutdown here in the Bay Area. If you've got guests coming in from out of town, you can scratch Muir Woods and Alcatraz off their itineraries. And even though airports remain open, you might want to leave a little extra time when traveling. Full story at alamedapost.com/news. Back in episode 138 in January, we started talking about green tech startup company Pacific Fusion, seeking a potential location of their new test facility at Alameda Point. In episode 166 in August, I reported that the ever-complicated Chevron remediation seems to have thrown a monkey wrench into the works of those negotiations. Now, in October, it's all moot. Pacific Fusion has announced their new facility will be built in Albuquerque, New Mexico, beating out both Alameda and Livermore, California. Pacific Fusion said in a statement, quote, "Our Albuquerque campus will build on New Mexico's legacy in applied physics, including decades of foundational research at Sandia National Laboratories. The state's expertise in advanced energy technologies, workforce that aligns with our future hiring needs, and capital-efficient environment for large projects make it a natural choice for Pacific Fusion's strategic expansion." End quote. As for why Pacific Fusion didn't choose Alameda as the site for their first research and manufacturing campus, Director of Base Reuse and Economic Development Abby Thorne-Lyman told the Post the decision wasn't related to the Chevron cleanup situation at all, saying, quote, "The city expressed some frustration to the Water Board regarding Chevron's timeline for advancing the Tari refinery waste process, but we have been reassured that this was not a deciding factor for Pacific Fusion. Though our quality of life and labor force is a major reason Pacific Fusion is keeping its headquarters in California, we simply could not compete with New Mexico's financial offers to attract this demonstration facility." End quote. That last part may be an understatement. The terms of the Pacific Fusion deal were outlined in a release from the city of Albuquerque. $10 million in Local Economic Development Act funds, $9 million from New Mexico, $1 million from Albuquerque, as well as $776 million in city-issued industrial revenue bonds, which essentially keeps Pacific Fusion from having to pay property taxes for 20 years. All in all, a package worth just shy of $900 million. Abby Thorne-Lyman did see something of a silver lining in the process, quote, "Thanks to Pacific Fusion's due diligence, we have better data on what's underground and what we need to do to serve new development. We created nimble ways to scale our sewer, water, and street improvements to accommodate new growth while keeping costs in alignment with what the private market can afford." End quote. Kelsey Gores has the story at alamedapost.com/news. On Tuesday at around 1 a.m., Alameda Fire Department responded to a report of a fire at a commercial structure on the 1800 block of Orion Street on Alameda Point. That's near Astra Aerospace. 3 AFD fire engines, 2 trucks, 1 medic unit, 1 care unit, and Battalion 1 reported to the scene. The first units to arrive encountered a 15 by 30-foot workshop that was on fire. AFD crews immediately initiated a rapid-fire attack, were able to confine the blaze to the workshop building where the fire started. Firefighters had the incident under control within 10 minutes. PG&E and Alameda Municipal Power also responded to the scene to secure utilities, with the police department providing traffic control. No civilian or firefighter injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Story at alamedapost.com/news. 2 new affordable housing communities, including the City of Alameda's first 100% permanent supportive housing community, opened at Mosley Avenue and Lakehurst Circle on Thursday the 25th. The buildings are the beginning of the North Housing Project being developed by the Housing Authority of the City of Alameda in collaboration with Island City Development. The project promises more than 500 rental units for low-income residents at its completion by 2030. Estuary 1 is Alameda's first new fully permanent supportive housing community, meaning that all 45 units would be completely dedicated to housing residents who were previously unhoused. In addition, Lynette Corner features another 64 units dedicated to housing seniors, including 16 units meant for previously homeless veterans. All AHA properties have on-site staff from Life Steps, an organization providing support services for affordable housing residents. However, Estuary 1 has more intensive support services to address the needs of chronically homeless people. The two housing communities were built simultaneously and expedited with SB 35, the 2017 law, which helps to streamline affordable housing projects. This is the first use of that bill in Alameda. The 12 acres of land for the project was part of the Navy's surplus property disposal. Vicki Nguyen has the full story and pictures at alamedapost.com/news. All 4 Alameda Health System skilled nursing and subacute facilities, commonly known as nursing homes, have been recognized on Newsweek's America's Best Nursing Homes 2026 list. The evaluation is based on 4 key pillars: performance indicators, reputation score among medical professionals, accreditations, and resident satisfaction, including patient and relative feedback. The facilities honored: Parkbridge Rehabilitation and Wellness, Alameda Hospital Subacute Unit, South Shore Rehabilitation and Wellness, and Fairmont Rehabilitation and Wellness in San Leandro. While this is excellent news, there is something of a dark cloud on the horizon. Due to funding cuts, experts project that AHS will lose $100 million annually in federal funding by 2030. Approximately 80% of AHS funding comes from Medicaid and from state healthcare reimbursements, aka Medi-Cal. Full story at alamedapost.com/news. As we do every 2 weeks, time to take a look at the latest real estate sales in Alameda, courtesy of Liz Rush. From September 16th through the 29th, 24 residential properties changed hands, 19 in Alameda, 5 on Bay Farm. Prices range from $380,000 to $2,100,000. Currently, there are 108 residential properties for sale, with 7 coming soon and 40 sales pending. Full look at the property list at alamedapost.com/real-estate. This coming Tuesday, City Council will hold its second workshop aimed at updating the council and the public on the status of infrastructure, this time focusing on reviewing the condition of several key municipal facilities, including the animal shelter, the Fleet Service Garage, Maintenance Service Center, Fire Stations and Administrative Building, among others. Council will also discuss adopting the 2025 California Building Standards Codes and consider actions to finance infrastructure and services for the West Midway project at Alameda Point. Karen Jensen has a full preview, including ways you can get involved, at alamedapost.com/news. With the calendar changing to October, no shortage of events to keep you busy this weekend and beyond. As she does every week, Amanda Laird has rounded up the best of the bunch in her All Around Alameda column. Tonight, Friday, it's the West End Art Beats Soiree and Art Auction at Saltbreaker. All proceeds from the event will support the free arts programs of the West End Arts District. Saturday brings Alameda's second annual Filipino Island Fest at Alameda Waterfront Park from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. Our latest history walking tour is this weekend. It covers the North Shore. Alameda's impressive maritime industries left lasting marks across the island, from discontinued railway lines to new luxury apartments in the former Del Monte facility. Tickets at alamedapost.com/tours. Background lectures and articles from Dennis Evanosky are also available, links in Amanda's article. First Sunday of the month means the Alameda Point Antiques Fair, and on Monday, head to Julie's Tea Garden to celebrate the traditional Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival. Again, details in all around Alameda at alamedapost.com/alameda-life. More events at 94501.info. Also going on this weekend, the Little Flippers class for kids at Pacific Pinball and the Oakland Ballers Championship celebration. Check oaklandballers.com for details. I hope you can join me Sunday at 8 a.m. on KCSM HD2 for the Alameda Connection. This week's guest, Jeremy Andehusen, founder and president of Alameda Pride. Follow the show on Instagram at Alameda Connection. You can help support local news by heading to alamedapost.com/donate. Find us on all the usual social media outlets. We've also got our own subreddit, and you can subscribe to us on Apple News. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 175 of the Alameda Postcast.